In today's video, we are in Sapa, one of Vietnam's most popular and beautiful parts of the country. If you've got a fear of heights, this is going to be absolutely terrifying. But what is it actually like to be here, and is it worth coming all this way?
If you had to choose, however, if time was a little bit tight, Hai Giang Loop or Sapa?
Don't worry, I'll show you around and share with you my personal experience in this town. So as always, sit down and relax and let's get to know Sapa.
Okay, so I thought I'd start our tour of Sapa today by coming to a place behind me which, according to Google Maps, is an old French monastery. Now, I think this is quite an interesting thing to show you. It's not just a ruin of a church, it's much more interesting than that because of the way the Vietnamese people have treated this place. So on Google Maps I saw some nice pictures and it said it was set in a Hmong tribe, but it's not. It's set in a forgotten about neighborhood with nobody around. And on the face of it, it's quite pretty, you know, the rocks and the ruin look really cool and there's moss growing and there's trees and nature has reclaimed it as you would like to see it do. However, I think this is the first time I've ever seen a middle finger stuck up towards the past colonizers, because this was supposed to be a tourist attraction, but it is not. Even the signs at the front are smashed and forgotten about. There's no information here. And obviously the French colonized the northern part of Vietnam at the beginning or the very end of the 18th century, and they were here for 60 years.
By the late 1880s, Vietnam, Laos and Cambodia were all controlled by France, and it was collectively referred to as French Indochina. And so the French seized lots and lots of land and reorganized them into plantations.
So obviously I'm British, so I can't talk. We were much worse than the French, okay? But I just find it interesting that this is the state of play here at this old French monastery. And if you think about it, this is a tourist town, and this was a tourist attraction according to Google Maps anyway. But no, the Vietnamese are much more concerned with upholding and generating tourism revenue in Sapa itself, and seems like nobody really cares about the French anymore.
As we come back into town now on a windy, very cold morning, we can explain a little bit more about Sapa, because you know the Vietnamese are not stupid. They will play on their relationship with the French and their history when it suits them. And here it suits them because it's up in the mountains and it enables them to play on the French Alps type of a vibe. And you see it in the architecture and the atmosphere that they're trying to go for here. But, you know, if you're Vietnamese and you've only ever seen French skiing resorts in travel magazines, then on the surface it might actually look like it in certain respects. But you know, if you've been to the French Alps like I have, you can quite quickly see that it's actually a bit of a cheap knockoff, and it gives it a slightly tacky feeling. But I still don't know if I really like that tacky feeling or if I don't. I don't know if this is grotesquely ugly or fabulously mad, like a lovable uncle or something, you know? I think the best way to explain it is in movie terms. You know, if the French Alps is a movie, it would be Armageddon. You know, just absolutely unbelievable. One of the best movies ever made, in my opinion. And Sapa, well, Sapa would be Deep Impact. Still a good movie, but it's not Armageddon, is it? Fair play to the Vietnamese for putting this all together. It feels a little bit like a theme park. It's rough around the edges, It's busy as hell.
So welcome to the star of the show in Sapa, Fansipan Legend, which is basically a theme park under the summit of Fansipan, the tallest mountain, not just in Vietnam, by the way, but in the whole of the Indochina mainland. The tallest mountain in Thailand, Laos, Cambodia, and Malaysia combined is this. 3,000 and something. I'm not quite sure, we'll find out when we get to the summit. It's quite expensive as well, I'll show you. Because I tried to go here yesterday, but they stopped letting people go up at 5 o'clock, which is a bit strange, because that's probably the best time of day to be up there, but whatever. Of course, before getting to any main attraction, you have to walk through endless amounts of gift shops en route. Hello again, that's me. One cable car.
One cable car, yes.
Okay, 737,000 Vietnamese dong for a cable car to the summit. I can walk up there. Someone told me about a company that does trekking trips and it looked really fun. But I'll be honest with you, I can't be bothered. I just want to get the cable car, get the view, and leave Sapa. I think 2 days is plenty here, plenty. Wow, this cable car is massive. Have a look. You could fit 30 people in here, but I'm glad there's only 10 of us. If you've got a fear of heights, this is going to be absolutely terrifying. Can you hear the wind? This is going to be the worst part, this gap between the start over the rice paddy fields. Once we get above this canopy, at least if we die, the drop won't be super high. Apparently, this takes 25 minutes. I'm sweating, I'm absolutely sweating. Fingers crossed it's still clear when we get to the top and we can have good views. I mean, the views are already insane, but you know what I mean. To say that was terrifying would be an understatement. I didn't really know what I was getting myself into. Cable car sounded like a breeze, but it was absolutely horrific, especially when that wind started blowing and we started swaying. But we made it. Worst part is I have to go back on the cable car to get down. Anyway, a cloud looks like it's rolling in, so we might lose the visibility. So let me just quickly show you the view right now. Still shaking after that. Cable car, wow. Right, we're not actually at the top. We've got to take another train. A little red monorail, looks like Thomas the Tank Engine. Are you the driver?
Yep.
Wow. I paid an extra 100,000 for this one-way trip, and then we'll walk down. I did take a look at the stairs and it was proper steep. And I'm proper lazy, so I just want to take this. It's quite fun actually. Okay, we made it to the top. Now, of course there's no view, typical, but that's okay. I think it will blow over. Like I said, the weather changes and this cloud hopefully will pass. There's a little shop selling noodles, hot dogs, ice cream, drinks. So what I'm gonna do is wait this out. I'm in no rush to go back on that cable car. So I'm gonna find a place, relax, and wait for this cloud to blow over.
So yeah, standing on a 3,000 meter tall mountain, waiting for the clouds to pass was made fun because of all the tourists up there taking pictures, pointing in the distance to, well, nothing because it was covered in cloud, and just seeing the amount of effort that these Vietnamese tourists had gone to, bringing up outfits and makeup. They were ready for some selfie action, but we were all trapped in the same cloud-filled bubble, and things were not clearing up. I popped downstairs to check out the beautiful temple grounds. There's also a huge bronze statue of a Buddha image, and it's absolutely gorgeous, but of course in the clouds, arguably very cool, very mystical, but not revealing of the true scenes below us, which was a little bit disappointing. And in the end, after a couple of hours and even flying the drone before quickly realizing that was a terrible idea, I called it quits.
Okay, so Fansipan summit is a bust. The sun wants to come through, and I think it wants to clear, and I've waited here a couple of hours, but I'm cold and I need to pee. Flying the drone has convinced me that I think it's time to leave, because in every direction it's just cloud.
Okay, we made it down in one piece. I mean, look, you can see what the problem was. The top of the mountain is in this persistent cloud, and the rest of Sapa is basking in sunlight, and it's a beautiful day, but just, alas, at the top of the mountain there, it's completely covered. Never mind. Never mind. But like I said, I do want to take you to a couple more spots that I think are worth having a look at. One of which, and where we'll go next, is called Silver Waterfall. It's about a 10-minute drive. Just stumbled across this place on the way to the waterfall. So they've got this infinity pool set up here, purely for taking pictures. There's a cool little thingy. What do you call these things that stick out? Platforms, that's it, that's the word I was looking for. Now over here, there's a random like acid-styled house blasting techno or something. Now one thing you can't ever say is that the mountains in Sapa are unbelievably beautiful, because they are absolutely gorgeous, aren't they? Oh, an Instagram swing. One thing's for sure, if you come to Sapa, even in the middle of the summer like now, bring a jacket, bring a jumper. Because up on these mountain roads, what's he doing? Up on these mountain roads, it's a wee bit nippy, aye. That's Scottish for it's quite cold. Okay, well, I'm not going to lie, this is a bit of a disappointment. It's right here on the main road, and there's literally coaches and coaches and coaches of people getting out, and there's the usual Sapa village folk trying to sell you stuff and poke you on the leg and say buy this, and it's not exactly a serene experience. So we're gonna head back into town and enjoy the drive. So Sapa is such a mixed bag, isn't it? You know, you've got buffaloes and farmers, just like that. You've got absolutely beautiful nature. You've got tourist attractions, of course, and you've got a strange theme park style town. So it's just a little bit of crazy, A little bit of beauty, a little bit of tackiness. You shake it into a cocktail shaker, pour it over ice, and you get Sapa. What will conclude our Sapa experience in the town square, because I just want to show you like a segment of the reality of Sapa, which is probably the worst part about Sapa, which is well, I'll show you. Here we are back in town, back in the town. Colourful buildings with all these almost Christmas decoration lights all over the place. What was annoying yesterday is there's a little restaurant around here. It's got like 7 floors. Each floor just gets a better and better view of the mountain and the whole town. And you can't go up there and have a beer. You have to have hot pot. It was this one here, Lionton or something. You know, they've got the best spot in the house, and you have to eat hot pot. You can't just have a beer, which is annoying. Now, here's my biggest beef with Sapa. Yesterday I arrived into town around about this time, and before I decided to go look for a hostel, by the way, I found one, very nice one, called Sapa Backpackers Hostel. Very good location. It's right next to this church. I came out for a beer and I got hounded. Everybody wanted to sell me something, take me to their village on a walking tour, and it wasn't just it wasn't just one person, it was 6 or 7. And I was just trying to settle into this place. What's going on here? This is the town square where I was hanging out yesterday. Seems to be some sort of cultural event. Won't stay here for too long because it's noisy. You can see this couple here just sat here. There's like a little kid trying to sell you stuff. Oh, I'm okay, thank you. It's very loud. I'll go make my point over by the church. I think you guys are gonna get my point, right? I think you can already see what I'm trying to show you here, which is, you know, something a little bit close to my heart anyway. So yeah, when I arrived, and this morning, when I was hanging out by that church, because it's the nicest spot in the town, I was getting absolutely hounded by groups of small and young children, like young children carrying even younger children, probably their siblings, I'm not sure. And they're just out here all day, basically unattended. And they're trying to sell you things, and they're trying to take pictures with you. And you know, the local Vietnamese people love it because they're wearing the cute Hmong tribe outfits, and they're super cute, and they get to take a selfie, and then they get a little bit of money. And I get it, it's work, but you know, these are little kids and they're working, and so it's a little bit hard to sort of see because, you know, as I've briefly hoped to show you there, like some of them are in tears, especially last night. Last night it was raining, and they were out there under an umbrella in the cold alone, still having to work until whenever they get picked up from their parents or whoever picks them up, I'm not sure. And then you've got the Hmong tribe elders who are really good at speaking English, and they're trying to sell you tours and you know, come walk to my village. And I'd heard that these walks to villages were really cool, and a lot of people who follow me on Instagram sent me messages like, go do one of the Hmong tribe village tours. And I was kind of up for it until I just kind of got hounded, and the forceful selling technique was a bit off-putting for me personally. And I also didn't really like to see the kids working on the streets. And I'm not saying it's not the right or the wrong thing to do, it's what I saw, and if that's how they want to do it, then that's totally up to them. But it was just, I don't know, just seeing kids working on the streets all day, looking after themselves was a bit like, wow, okay, wasn't quite used to seeing that. I just wanted to portray that if you come to Sapa, yes, it is absolutely gorgeous, and the mountain and the cable car is thrilling.
and with the good weather, one of the best sites in the whole country. And there's good food here, and I'm sure I didn't show you that, but I've been having great food. And there's a cool cocktail bar, and I met some subscribers last night. We played pool, and I've had a really good time. But that's the whole experience of Sapa explained and shown to you. I hope you appreciate the fullness of the truthfulness of my experience, because I could just say it's the best place, but it's not the best place I've been to in Vietnam. It's cool. Let me tell you one last thing. If you're thinking, do I need to come to Sapa to get the full Vietnamese experience? Yes, absolutely. Should you come to Sapa to see beautiful mountains? Yes, absolutely. If you had to choose, however, if time was a little bit tight, Hai Giang Loop or Sapa, do the Hai Giang Loop every day of the week and twice on a Sunday. There's still plenty more of this beautiful country to uncover. In the next video, we're going to be driving to Ninh Binh. It's all the way south, below Hanoi. It's going to take about 650 kilometers worth of driving over, I would imagine, 3 days. And that's going to be the next video, is our journey to Ninh Binh through some of the most beautiful countryside. I'm going to be showing you some clips now of what is to come. And as always, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this review of Sapa, and I'll see you on the next adventure from this beautiful country. Thanks for watching. Peace.